Hi, I'm Bran, and I love own Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise own Christmas movies.
I'm Alonso, and maybe we should spell own with a P. And this
is the Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello, everybody.
Boy.
Another week is here. The good news is, and I know this matters to you.
Monday.
I know this matters to you a little bit.
A lot, yes, of
But I
course.
know that this matters a lot to me and Alonso. We're 1 week closer to Christmas. So,
Guys, it's April. We're not close to Christmas. Unequivocally.
I didn't say
Daniel,
I didn't say close.
we're in that slack period between Easter and Halloween. Give us
I
something.
give you
said-
jokers the break. When it comes to Bramblefest, I don't make any jokes. It's all fair game. But
Never once did I say that we're
April.
close.
And we're releasing Bramblefest tickets. Are we doing that in April? We decided on a date. I know we did.
I said we're 1 week closer.
Yes, I know. That's always true, though, Brian. Every day but the week of Christmas, that is true.
Yes.
So to say it now is ridiculous. Highlight
not
a whole page.
It's better than thinking about how far from Christmas we are. Better to think about how close to
You're
Christmas.
closer to where you were than where you're going.
I'm close. It's just
Exactly.
sometimes,
Thanks, Brandon.
sometimes folks like Alonso and myself, all we need is a reminder that there
You
is
need
a
a
Christmas.
little Christmas right this very minute.
There is a Christmas,
Yeah.
and it's coming.
Maybe we need a weekly podcast about this very
You
thing.
could call it Christmas morning.
Let me ask.
For instance.
Let me ask a Christmas
And there would be TV listings and song
Christmas
battles.
morning
They
podcast.
wouldn't know TV shows regularly.
Yeah, that's right.
Mary Tyler Moore, Rhoda.
I knew Mary Tyler Moore didn't know Rhoda.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
Daniel,
forgot. You know everything. I forgot. Dan knows everything.
Daniel, if you don't think I fire up the chat group with Brandon Scott every time they pull one of those,
Well,
trust me, I'm on the
You listen
case.
to the Lifetime Game Show Palooza, or first annual. And,
First annual.
Yes, see, you know what it's like. now,
and
right.
had notes, and most of the notes fair, more than fair. And I couldn't believe, is it Barbara or Diane Wiest? Is that how you say?
Diane Wiest, 2 Oscars.
Yeah, two
Come on.
Oscars.
She
I
was
didn't know
in
who she
Parenthood.
was, and I was read the riot act, rightfully so.
But you did mention if we ever want to do a Hallmark movie quiz palooza, game show palooza, whatever.
Oh, I'm down.
Yeah.
I already came up with baker, bookstore owner, or party planner.
It's great.
Yeah,
This is
I love
great.
that.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah,
I
just
think.
wait,
It's gotta be
everybody.
coming.
I think we're about to crack games.
I think we're on our way at the very least. There is I wouldn't call it a crack yet. I'd call it what?
A Fisher.
A hairline
like a
fracture
dimple.
in games.
A dimple. Let me ask you this, Alonso. I think people, judging by the title of the movie today, Christmas of Yes, can figure out what's going to happen in this movie.
Yeah.
Alonso, if you were given this challenge to say yes to everything during the holiday season, do you think you could do it?
I don't know if there's much that I already say no to. I mean, go look at how many podcasts I do during the holiday season. It's like I don't say no a lot, frankly, and I should probably do it
as soon as you said
more.
it, though, I'd be like, hey, Alonso, we're doing a Christmas with the Cranks marathon. Can you join?
right.
Like, I would immediately.
That's the thing.
Once
that's a very
people find out.
exploitable,
you can't tell them. You can't tell them.
Exactly. That would, I think, really spoil it. And but yeah, I think if you kept it on the hush, I'm pretty open to things when it comes to especially during the Yuletide.
But you already have the Christmas spirit. You'd never have to take this challenge.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you think
There is that. Yeah,
you could do it?
Daniel might have.
I could do it as long as no one. If anyone found out, I would be in over my head in a hurry. if no one knew, I think I could do it. Yeah.
I think the thing with me though is I always want to be invited just so that I can say no. I don't really want to like leave my house.
No, yeah.
And so
you're a secret introvert.
I don't want to really be around people or places or things.
Yeah.
And so I don't like doing new things.
You got to stay home to stream Rhoda.
That's exactly right.
If only.
Now that I have finished the floor, the game show, The Floor that I binged, I think I might be the only person in the world to
Brain
binge
keeps
a
talking
game
about The Floor
show.
like any other person gives a single care.
I'm trying to find one person. Am I the only?
I don't even know what this is.
It's a
What
Rob
is it?
Lowe
Where is
game
it?
show. It's stupid. He said the other night, I just needed something mindless to watch, and I found this show called The Floor. I thought he was just cruising through channels and caught 30 minutes of a game. And then I found out later it was on Netflix. He was watching a game show on Netflix.
It was on Hulu.
And he watched 4 straight episodes.
Whoa. That's a whole
And I
movie.
want everyone to know another bit of
It's a
information.
Scorsese movie.
Another bit of information that I have withheld is
Oh, no.
I turned on The Floor after watching 3 trailers for Academy Award nominees, and I was like, I'm not in the mood tonight. I'm not in the mood for Anatomy of a Fall. I'm not in the mood.
Look, why do you think Netflix signed the deal with Adam Sandler?
Right.
Yeah.
Because people go home at the end of a long workday, they're on the couch, and the choices are Anatomy of a Fall or
Hubie Halloween.
you know,
Give me
Hubie Halloween.
Hubie
exactly.
Halloween.
Fine.
Can you
Hubie
imagine,
Halloween.
like-
I can't. My brain is not.
But it's so weird that those in your brain are the 2 choices. Like that's like a logic. That's a straw man. It's like, do you want to watch Zone of Interest?
Yeah,
or
that's one of the trailers I watched. Yeah,
you want to watch, or do you want to watch the second murder mystery? With those are not the only 2 choices out there.
Yeah.
Like there are more choices.
I love the Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston murder mystery.
They're
movies.
terrible.
I love them.
Oof.
And I loved Hubie Halloween.
But I get it. I mean, I despise Adam Sandler and his works unless he's working with a competent filmmaker. But like, I like early in the evening, Dave and I will either we'll watch something for LKTV or maybe like a screener of a movie we have to review or talk about. But after about 8:30, 9, my brain is just not ready to take in anything on the Criterion
Letterkenny
channel.
time.
And so.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I'll pop over to Peacock and watch a Murder, She Wrote or something, just I can't at some point the mind has
How does
to
it
rest.
feel that Alonso's mindless entertainment would be your homework?
Yeah, no, and I get it. It's more than fair.
Yeah.
I think that honestly describes Alonso and I to a T.
And look, real talk, I am a Hallmark Movies Now subscriber, and some nights I just throw on Christmas Joy and veg out.
Yeah.
Cookie crawl.
I've been known to put on a
Cookie
Hallmark
Crawl.
Christmas movie in the middle of the year at night just for funsies.
I won't even rewatch my favorite TV shows.
But I will just say this: while we're talking about Hallmark Christmas movies, that's what makes the Philo Unlimited DVR
It's unbelievable.
really great
Yes.
for us because we already
sure.
have to save all of them, and so they're just
They're there. Christmas at Biltmore, there.
Round
and
whenever I
round,
want it.
there.
And I don't even.
Yeah.
So anytime I'm feeling one of those, I open up the old Philo app and I just scroll until my heart's content. So that's pretty great. Christmas of Yes. Are we ready to talk about it?
Let's do it.
Sure.
It originally aired on OWN, the Oprah Winfrey Network, on December 9th, 2023, and it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with a woman making a very special cup of coffee. And you might be wondering to yourself, South, is there a movie out there that is 80% coffee? Yes. This movie is 80% coffee. It's Amy, and it appears that she's trying to perfect the perfect festive cup of coffee, the perfect Christmas coffee.
blend.
Is it her job, though? No. Coffee is not her job. It is her hobby, despite it being something that she loves. She works for Bizworthy and has quickly been rising in the company. She's now doing really well, and she's excited because they're working on an acquisition, and that could mean even more potential new raising. What is it called? A promotion.
Merger. Yeah, but
a
it's a
promotion.
More potential promotions for her, raisings, if you will. So, but after it gets acquired, She comes in and she finds out that they are getting rid of her position of Chief Marketing Officer.
That's right. CMO.
You don't need one of those during a merger.
They have 3 people that are going to do her job. Yeah,
of course
so
they are.
They have their own CMO.
I'm sure they
do. She can see her way out. Okay.
That's right. She's
three children in a trench coat are going to be the new CMO.
It's Muppet Man.
She's bummed, but she whispers to herself, "You'll be fine." She's not. She hits the bottle fast and hard. She thought that she was going to be the CEO of Bizworthy one day, and now she's got nothing, and no one hires at the end of the year. And so what is she to do? There's nothing she can really do until the new year. So she's talking to her brother and his husband about how nothing exciting happens to her, unlike to them. And they're like, well, you know why that is? We say yes to everything. She's like, what do you mean you say yes to everything? And they're like, anytime an opportunity presents itself, we say yes. In fact, I think maybe you should try that. Maybe you should try saying yes to everything this holiday season, since you got nothing else going on. And after some pushing and some drinking, she agrees to say yes to Christmas. Make it the Christmas of yes. And they immediately invite her to, I think, everyone's worst nightmare, free improv. It is a free improv show, and she wants to say no. We all do, but she can't. She ends up being invited on stage. She can't say no to that, and they're going to play a game called Ding Dong, where they act out her day, and if they say something or do something that didn't actually happen, you say dong, and if they do something right, you say ding. That's exactly right, ding dong. And Nico, the improv guy, is very annoyed because she's a bit of a buzzkill. One, they got to act out someone getting fired, and 2, she keeps donging stuff, and you can't do that.
Too many dongs.
So after the show, Nico approaches her outside and was like, "Hey, thanks for being a total buzzkill up there." And she's like, "You're not even funny." The tension is hot. It is heavy. And seeing this tension, one of the other improvisers invites her to come help with the improv toy drive. Now, this is not a it's a fundraiser.
Like they're giving toys to kids.
It's not. Yeah. It is a real toy drive that the improv puts on.
Brand.
Yeah. So she can't say no to that. She says yes, and she ends up going into and doing a bit of a rapping competition with Nico. And afterwards, she lets him try the coffee. And he says, "This is the second best cup of coffee you've ever had, behind that random drip coffee I had in Brooklyn one time." She says, "Challenge accepted. I got to become number 1." After talking a bit more, she agrees to roast some coffee and sell out a fundraiser for students to learn and stuff and get a computer, I guess. They go out to dinner to talk about the fundraiser, and while talking, it becomes abundantly clear that he doesn't know how to plan anything. She does, so she says, I'm going to take on this project. I'm going to help plan the fundraiser. She then also opens up about how she hasn't had a Christmas tree in a few years because of how busy she's been at work. So he convinces her to sneak into a closed Christmas tree lot to steal a tree. But after getting the tree over the fence, he's like, "Oh, but it's my uncle's Christmas tree lot. We're good to go here." And he even has keys to the gate. So it was a big fun haha. The next day, there's a knock at the door.
Who is
it? So answer. It's her mom. And in a storyline that I felt like started too late, they begin to talk. And we find out that they have a strained relationship due to mom becoming a bit of an alcoholic after dad died. And so she tells her, though, she's doing very well now. Amy's not sure. She's heard this before. Later, she invites Nico over to try some coffee that she's been working on, and he encourages her to open up a coffee shop. And he's like, "No, that's not a part of the plan. I will, however, sell some coffee for the fundraiser, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the sales go." Things are going well between them. She's enjoying saying yes, actually. She's enjoying Nico. And she even makes him his own special coffee, which becomes the best cup of coffee he's ever had.
Number 1.
Then he gives her a gift, a little early gift. It is business cards for her coffee company.
because she gets a call first from her boss.
That's right. But they are Carpe coffee business cards is what's in the box. But she gets a call from her old job. They want her to come back. The three Muppets, they couldn't handle it.
Did not
could not handle it. Get your old job back. And so she tells Nico, hey, I can't do this anymore. I know I said I would do all of this. I can't do any of it. I got to go back. And he's very upset about this. And he's like, I don't even think you want to do this. I think you want to coffee. And she's like, you don't get what it's like to have plans, to have goals, to try to do things. I want to be a CEO. I don't want to be a coffee person. I'm going to accomplish my goals because I have a plan unlike you. And I only did any of this because of my brother's dumb challenge. Well, he's like, what you mean by that? Explains the Christmas of Yes. And is like, so this is all like, none of this was real. It was only because you had to say yes. And she's like, it's not like that. He storms off. It's too late. She walks back in the office, gets right to work. And there's a lot of work to be had. She's working late. She's not very happy. And when her boss asks her to work late on Christmas Eve, she looks down and she sees the Carpe coffee business cards. Mm-hmm. And she says, you know what? I quit. I'm going to be my own CEO of my own coffee company. And her boss is like, freaking good luck with that. I don't know, man. She goes to try to talk to Nico to make things right, but the Christmas Eve improv show is sold out. And so she tries to get him to talk. He doesn't want to. So she sneaks in. And she volunteers to come on stage to play. You guessed it, ding dong.
Not nearly as many dongs this time.
Not as many dongs. Lots of dings here. She tells him that she quit her job, is going to own her own business, and wants to tell a guy that she really, really likes him. And he's like, wait, what? Ding, ding, ding. Yes. They make up. They kiss big ones. It has been Christmas morning. Mom is there because she's doing great and they've made up. And everybody is so happy. And that, my friends, was Christmas of Yes.
We did it.
We did do it. Congratulations. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this movie down here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back to Coffee, the show where we talk about coffee and everything in between. We're breaking down Christmas of Yes. We're going to start with a hot take. We're going to share exactly how we felt about this movie, and I'm going to start with my friend Alonso. Alonso, what'd you think of OWN's 2023 Christmas movie, Christmas of Yes?
So, in the last couple of weeks, we've seen some really bonkers, low budget, like just plot threads making no sense and weird camera angles and stuff. And I'm starting to miss those movies because this one is professionally done. You
competent.
Know, it has a sheen of competency to it, and it is so boring. Like, it is so by the numbers, bland. Every room looks like a model home. None of the characters feel like flesh and blood people with real concerns. It's so by the numbers. Yeah, I was kind of craving a weird camera on the floor angle or a pooped at the prom story, anything, just to kind of liven it up. So yeah, this is it, as the kids say, it understands the assignment, but it does not do anything extra beyond that.
So I like this movie quite a bit, actually. I wasn't bored by it. I thought that the two leads worked well together. I love coffee, so this movie was kind of like perfect for me. If the question is, would I rather, if I had to choose between pooping on the floor story or this movie, I'd pick the pooping on the floor movie. But I wasn't bored. I quite enjoyed it. It gave me a skosh of Christmas spirit, not an overwhelming amount, a skosh, proper for April, I think.
An April dash.
I don't know. I thought it was nice. Dano?
Alonso's going to be grumpy Alonso on this one. I'm not here to tell you this movie's great. But this movie sets up a plot like Jim Carrey's Yes Man, and ostensibly abruptly leaves that plot for ostensibly a better movie. It sets up this thing where she's supposed to say yes, and after 30 minutes of that movie, which is weird, wacky, tonally all over the place, boring, it just gets sideswiped by a movie where you're dealing with addiction and her bringing family members back into the fray, adoption storylines, like what is my life really, like an existential crisis, like all of these things in the last 50 minutes of the movie seem really rushed and jammed in there, but I wasn't bored. The coffee aspect of it actually was interesting to me because I thought when she said she roasted her own beans, I was like, oh, dear God, this is the worst plot line of all time. But then we go into like, this is her alcoholism. Like, this is her thing that she's doing to cope with her trauma. And I actually thought all the characters in this movie acted as though they would act in real life. I thought they did a really good job of not pushing a love story. They're not declaring that they love each other.
Wow.
They're just saying that they like each other.
Right.
I thought that there are several chances where women in power in this movie have a chance to be like vindictive or backbiting, and they're not. Like the boss, I thought for sure she was going to be like, good luck with that coffee business. But she's like, I know I just rehired you back, but really good luck. You're going to succeed in anything
And ends up
you do.
being her first client.
And so for me, it is not going to win any awards, but how they tackle some emotional heft and how they tackle how people deal with big trauma in their life, I thought was really, really good. So yeah, I'm higher on it than old Grumpy A out there.
This is our Scottish Christmas movie from last year that you like adored, and we were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think we found it.
April 8th, 2024, the day that we broke Daniel.
That's right. Well, to be fair, I watched this movie. Don't do this at home, kids. I watched this movie in my truck mostly. And I watched the first, and I've got pages of wait what's, so maybe I pay attention better there. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there.
I think that you do, though, because you know, occasionally.
Not often here.
Not often,
No.
but I will occasionally look over and you'll be doing something
How
else.
dare you?
And I'm not saying you're
no.
not paying attention.
Yeah,
I'm just
you're
saying
never.
occasionally.
Just me.
And so I can't do it nearly as much, though,
That's right.
because I have to
But
write
I watched
a
the
thing.
first 30 or 40 minutes, and then right after the improv scene, had to stop it and then watch the next 30, 40 minutes. And it felt like two very different, like she stops doing any of the yes bit in this movie at all, literally, and then they bring it up at the end. Like once she finds the dude and they get the Christmas tree, there's no more yeses. There's no more like, I want to say no, but it's a yes for me. It doesn't happen.
I think she says yes to throwing the Christmas party. I think that's the last one.
Yeah, and so that from that perspective, it doesn't hold up. But like the way they handle these big themes, I really like.
You like
love.
the movie?
Old Grumpy A out there. He's out there. He's just
like
a West Coast liberal elite that just can't get in the Christmas spirit in April. Is all.
Like the movie.
No.
Dan Alonso hated it.
Dan is not putting his stamp on this one because if you go watch it, it's not gonna. No, it's not to the level of like a Biltmore.
He
Christmas,
liked it more than
guys.
Biltmore. He said it here first.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna have a discussion when we get to the wait what.
Oh
Right?
no, my wait what's are as long as they've been for a Monday movie all year long. There's so many. We'll get to the field.
Dude, wait until you watch Biltmore in your truck. It's gonna blow your mind.
You guys,
This is crazy. It's time for all the feels where we talk about what this movie gave us feels. Alonso, anything stick out to you even though you hated this movie with a fiery passion?
I can't even get passionate about this movie. That's part of the problem with it. It's so bland for me. Even though I didn't particularly care for the lead couple, I did like the fact that we know that the lead actress, the character, is getting less sort of repressed and held back and fussy and freer and more open to life by the collars of her shirts. Her tops, early on, she's got these really lacy, frilly, fussy, just overdone, choking, things on her blouses. But as she loosens up, she's more of a scoop neck. I liked the story that was being told there. And I liked Tanika Davis as the sidekick improv woman who was very charming, and I would have liked to have seen a movie with her in the middle of it.
I loved at the end of this movie. First of all, I do want to say the way it ended with coming back on stage and doing Ding Dong. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. What I loved even more than that.
It's good writing for a movie like this.
What I liked even more than that is there is a guy in the crowds when the love declaration is happening who is just like pissed. He's like,
what is this?
I came for improv.
Yeah, I don't get it.
What is it? And everybody else in the crowd's kind of like, oh, this is fun. But he's just like, and I love that guy. I thought that was fantastic, and it made me laugh. Dan,
I've got several. I do love. It got an audible chuckle from me when her brother and his husband convince her to say yes to everything. She's like, "Fine, I'll do it." And as soon as she says she'll do it, they're like, "Free improv show tonight," like immediately, which was just perfect.
The worst possible thing to happen.
It is like we're throwing you in the deep end immediately. I loved how much. Like, the thing about this movie is you hear that the family was beautiful and perfect, and then the dad dies, and the mom turns to alcohol, and then our lead has turned to coffee. I know that sounds crazy, but in the beginning, it seems like a Hallmark movie. It's like, oh, you make the best coffee, but then you see she's got a roaster, she's got all this stuff, and it is clearly her addiction is perseverating on how to make the best cup of coffee, to not give herself any time to think and process what has happened to her. I think that's good writing. And I think it's really well done. And I also like the fact that, she clearly doesn't trust her mom anymore, and they don't just have one scene where they hug it out and all is forgiven. Like, mom comes over and she's like, she doesn't say this. This would have been, I think, nice to include in there, but she's like, I'm saying yes to everything right now. I'm saying no to you still. She literally in a month where she's supposed to say yes to everything, she basically says no to her mom trying to be involved in her life. And it takes 3-4 conversations over the course of the movie for her to let her mom back in and give her mom another chance, and rightfully so. So I thought they did right by characters in that regard. There you have it.
I want to throw this in. I don't quite agree with you on the whole Al-Anon coffee element of it, but I will say that having a character who the thing that she's good at is coffee is kind of brilliant for one of these movies, because we don't have to see her art.
That's true.
Her photography. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. We're going to take everyone's word for it that it tastes good.
And I want to on the Al-Anon thing, the reason, here's what, for me, I was watching this movie, and I have a smoker at home, and I'm not a professional smoker. I just like to try stuff, and I love the project of it. And then when you finally, early in the movie, the coffee was a huge wait what to me. I'm like, who has time to roast their own coffee beans? What workaholic has time to roast their own coffee beans? And then as the movie progresses, then you see her setup, and she walks you through it, and it's like, I immediately was like, I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to, this is where I Googled, where do I get green coffee beans? Immediately. And then I've done it before. I saw what all was involved, and I was like, maybe I don't want to do this. But I appreciated the fact that she clearly has latched onto this as more than a hobby, as something that is, a part of process for her.
A couple years ago, I got a coffee roaster, but it was too small, and so the work that was needed to make it and for the amount of coffee you got, I was like, it's just not worth it.
That was a wait what.
But I would love.
Then you see her machine, and you're like, oh, never mind.
You could do a brisket rub maybe with the roasted coffee.
Stop selling.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with the wait what and oh no you didn't here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark. We're talking about Christmas of Yes 2023 own movie. Oprah Winfrey seal of approval is on this movie. Could there possibly be any wait whats? Let's find out. Alonso, what you got?
Okay, so beginning of the movie, she gets fired from her job and is going to be, can't even look for a job for weeks because at the end of the year, no one's hiring. What kind of nest egg does she have stored away that she picks this moment to donate a bunch of roasted coffee to a charity event? Like,
I could not, but This was the ultimate you don't need a job movie. It was that.
Yes.
It was the ultimate. Jobs are just like if you want one. You don't like.
Sure.
She like had 2 years pay in her like minimum in her bank. She is acting as though a job was something she did purely for the fun of it. It is wild.
She was a C-level executive. She was chief marketing, so I'm sure she had money.
But I mean, you got to afford everything that you're doing. You got monthly expenditures, and she's just like,
if you've got a couple months ahead of you with no paycheck coming in, maybe this is not the time to like make a
double
big,
or triple down on
donation.
your expenditures.
Yeah. That's fair.
Every time we lose a contract around here, we go real hard on spending.
We do.
That's right.
We do.
So the gays put together a jigsaw puzzle, and there's one piece missing, and her brother digs into a box that has a whole bunch of other puzzle pieces in it and finds it.
It's unbelievable.
Which means that there are multiple puzzles all mixed together willy-nilly in this box, and somehow they've managed to put one puzzle together while putting all of the pieces from the other puzzle still in the box, and it was giving me an anxiety attack.
Fair. I don't want any part of that. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
I appreciate the ambition of this movie wanting to work in alcoholic mom and that whole sort of subplot. But man, this does not have the cross beams to support
it doesn't.
anything that weighty. So it's like, A for effort, but like you really, it's not that movie. You need to really.
The problem was the first 30.
They don't introduce it until 30, 40 minutes into it.
By the time you get that plot line, the movie is trying to set itself up as a wacky Christmas comedy. And that's the problem. Is like you can't do that.
So it's like there's a movies and mysteries way you could do that and have that be in, but it's like, oh no, wait, now we're going here. Like it just so I couldn't. For whatever it does right in that, it had already lost me in the idea that they were doing it at all. So
I would say you could take out the yes of this movie altogether and just, I'm really upset and drunk, so I went to an improv show and let the movie play out from there and not.
Because, who hasn't?
I mean, am I right?
And actually, true. We've all been there. Good point, though. By the time she's at the terrible improv show, she is stone cold sober. Yeah. And she's been drinking like JD out of a bottle.
I did write that one down, Alonso. She takes 6 shots of whiskey in 7 minutes, and her day is unchanged. I don't even know who has the constitution for that. I know no one who can go 6 shots of whiskey in 7 minutes and go, my day, I'm going to live the same day I would have before those 6 shots.
She is Karen Allen at the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, that is the person.
Whoa.
I will say that is the makeup of most people at a free improv show, though.
But she's put together. She's not even,
doing great. She's doing great.
Okay. Daniel, I cannot believe that you fell for the adoption subplot.
No,
here.
I didn't like. No. Time out. The adoption subplot's not great. What I said is that the first 30 minutes of this movie promises wacky, and then it just gets sideswiped by what is a better movie. The adoption plot line, you can absolutely kick rocks, 100%. Go ahead.
Here's the problem with the adoption plot line. We have been introduced to the gays as globetrotters who are never home. Right. They're always traveling. They apparently have no fixed address. They're crashing with her.
Yep.
What adoption agency is looking at that and being like, oh yes, absolutely. Like you love to go on about how they want to come to your house and look at the outlets.
Yeah. No. That was in mind. The adoption plot line here is like, unfortunately, because it's like the movie couldn't do both. We are introduced to this movie through the lens of a same-sex couple. And it's like, all right, they're really putting them forward. What should we have them do now? We've got it. Adopt a child in a 10-minute plot. Like it was really bad.
The thing is that people can't tell you need bigger windows if you don't have any windows.
That's true.
So we got nothing on you.
Yeah. That's easily the worst part of this movie is the adoption storyline. No questions asked.
And now I'm starting to wonder, in the wake of like Hallmark's movies where they're starting to dip a toe into this, is it going to be a thing now where you can only have gay characters in a Christmas movie if they are skidding toward parenthood? Like, does that make them acceptable? They can't just be 2 globetrotting twinks with like an unlimited expense account. They have to like be changing diapers or else get out of here. Well,
the only thing I would say there, you're 100% right. It seems like they're going to do that is, but you don't get many movies with straight characters that are globetrotting with unlimited. Like most everyone in Hallmark movies tends to want to stay at home if they can. Sure. So I guess that kind of fits the mold, but also, yeah, you can't have every gay couple adopt. It's just not something you can do.
Some of us don't want children.
That's crazy. That's totally all right. That's why it was the Steve Lund's Miss Christmas movie that the foster adoption storyline was the only one that I've been like, it hits the way it should. Like, this is the way this should go, and how you go about that process. And
Mrs. Miracle?
Mrs. Miracle, that's what it is, not Miss Christmas. Yeah, Mrs. Miracle, that's the one. Yeah, Debbie McCombers.
Anything else, Alonso?
No, I'm good. Take it away.
I want to speak really quickly to all the bosses out there. Hi, bosses, including the boss baby.
Hello,
girl boss.
I just answer his call. I'm not a baby.
No, you're not a baby. You're not a baby.
I do answer the calls for the boss baby.
No, and I know that about you.
At the Red Room
2024.
Again? What are the dates?
They give us a deal.
What are the dates?
It's probably going to be around July 18th, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh no, we need to talk. Like you listen to our show.
You
listen to our show.
And they have promised, I want to just get anybody from last year who did not get a refund, they have promised to spray for those cockroaches. They're going to get rid of them. Listen, it was
especially with all the babies on the floor.
Yes,
in the conjoined rooms.
Yeah, it's hard to get to those conjoined rooms.
Yeah,
with all the cockroaches.
You can't. Just don't. When you're going to fire somebody,
the best.
Don't do good news, bad news.
Don't do good news,
bad news. Don't do it. To go in there and say, I've got good news, bad news. The good news is the acquisition, it's the merger. It's happening. Acquisition, baby. Bad news is you're fired. The worst thing to do to somebody. That's so mean. It's so mean to them. The good news is,
if you did it as a knock-knock joke, it would be worse.
Good news is the business is going to grow and it's going to be bigger than ever before. The bad news is you're not going to be here to see it. You're fired.
Yeah, the only time that is the worst good news, bad news too, because it's like good news, we're about to make a ton of money. Bad news is you're not. I've had to fire people. It's not fun. No. You would think that I would actually enjoy this, but it's not fun because people actually matter, believe it or not. The only good news, bad news I could possibly imagine you doing there is the bad news is we're going to have to let you go. The good news is this is your severance, and you slide a paper across that is the only way you can bad news, good news, a firing. That's the only way.
Wait, I've got it. Knock, knock. You're fired.
You're fired who?
You're fired, clean out your desk.
Oh, no.
I always think of the scene in Up in the Air, which is getting a lot of play on Back to Hallmark lately. The scene where George Clooney fires J.K. Simmons is just an absolute wrenching scene of television. It is, of film. It's absolutely, it's unbelievable. If you've not seen it, you need to find it. It's just absolutely wrenching. It's great stuff.
So we talked a little bit about that they steal a Christmas tree, but not really steal it, blah, blah, blah. It's big funnies. For reasons that literally made me go, what's happening is they decide at this point in time to do weird split screen stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. There's literally a part of it where she is climbed over the fence and she's standing on a thing, getting ready to jump down. And it is a split screen with her on both sides of it, where they use two different takes of her jumping off the thing. And I don't know why. I don't know why what the point of it was, what they were trying to do. Maybe heist. Maybe that's what they were trying to get. But and they don't do it again. I don't know what happened. It was very weird.
Maybe there was a logo they had to cover up. And
maybe, yeah. How heavy was that Christmas tree? Because he just kind of leans it down, and she goes. There's half a Christmas tree there. Yeah. A lot of the branches are gone, but it took her out. Last but not least, I got a kick out of when she barges into the improv show at the end and she volunteers. She says, "I'll come up." And the woman improviser says, "Amy Bell, everybody." As if they know who she is. Everyone's like,
the Amy Bell is here?
It's like when anytime you go to improv, you hope that they're going to like bring in somebody, Seth Meyers, everybody. Amy Bell, everybody. Oh, they got her.
They got her.
They got her. How many people in that crowd were just going for it? They were like, hey, Google her later. I don't know. Yeah. Amy Bell, everyone. Dan?
I don't come to a lot of improv, but I guess she's a big
huge.
Thing.
Dan Thompson, everybody.
Hey, thanks, guys. We're not big into doctoring coffee in this office, but for a movie that's all about coffee, for there to be no cream or sugar anywhere is just wild to me. Like, in no scene does anyone put anything in this movie. Everyone drinks black coffee.
That's right.
Which is what we do in this office. Maybe a splash of oat milk with a cold brew. That is about as crazy as we get. But if you work in an office place, people dress up their coffee all the time. No one in this movie, not in the office, not at home. Nobody's like, give me the cream, give me the sugar. Never happens, not once.
Her coffee doesn't need it.
It already tastes like
That's
butterscotch.
Right.
Like what else? Why would you taste it?
Yeah, of course. No, that is what we're trying to get across, but that's not how people are, and we all know it.
No. This is a movie of coffee
That's
snobs.
like going to, there's always some idiot asking for A1 at like a prime steakhouse. Like there's no way around it.
That was mean, first of all.
Went to
but fair. I love A1 sauce.
Exhibit A, that idiot.
Heinz.
That guy. It's pretty straightforward.
A1 brown ketchup.
Me and this guy right here, we run a business, and we care about how the business looks, especially this guy over here. Creatively, he functions in a world best where he likes to make sure it looks a certain way and sounds a certain way. And that's why we work well together. The person in this movie, Amy Bell, is the
Amy Bell, everyone.
The last person on earth that you want to surprise with a pre-designed business card
and logo.
Bran, if someone designed a Bramble Jam business card for you as a gift, how terrible a gift is that for you?
I would say, just send me the file. Send me the file, and then that would be sweet.
It made me twitch. For you to, I don't even have a business logo, a picture, nothing, and you have the audacity to print out, I got to breathe through the fact that it's the thought that counts there. That's not what you're doing. No.
It did look like there were maybe 5 tops in the box. Yeah. So, at least he was like, you don't like it, it's only 5.
It's only 5. Sampler. Yeah. Look, he's a school teacher and an amateur improv guy. So clearly he knows all about graphic
branding
design.
Coffee shops. I think if somebody does, it's him.
Especially giving it to someone who is a chief marketing officer is a bold move.
Who is a control freak. Who's organized, and a CMO. Yes. Here's your business card. It rides or dies with this business card. Ta-da. You're welcome. It's romantic.
It couldn't possibly matter to you.
The other thing that doesn't fit with her personality is in her office there is a sign that says something to the equivalent of the path uncharted provides the most intrigue. She spent her whole life avoiding that path. Yeah. Do you think she would have signs up framed that tell her to do the opposite of what she's done her whole life?
It was that or live, laugh, love. She had to pick
Hang
one.
in there with a cat on the side of a thing.
But at least that works for her character. Hey, I'm hanging in there. I'm following the plan.
Yeah. At one point she says, Nico says, I bet you got somebody that's just always got all A's. And she pipes up with, I got straight C's in 8th grade. That is more impressive. To keep all of your grades between a 70 and an 80, that takes more work. It takes more work to suck that much. If your dad died and you were going through it, the way we could tell is because your grades would be all over the map, like A in PE, the F in math. C. If you got straight C's, that is so much more impressive than straight A's. It's really tough to do. I've never met anyone that got straight C's. It's impressive.
Look, her life was falling apart, but she was still anal retentive.
That's right. Yeah. Well, if I'm going to get a C, I'm going to get all C's. Yeah. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
A clean break.
Yeah, for sure. She walks in from her long day where she quit her job, and her mom's there, her brother's there, his husband's there. She starts crying, and immediately her brother just exits as quickly as possible. He's like, oh, she's crying? I am out of here. I don't want any part of this emotion. Let me leave this to the estranged mom. Let me leave it to the mom that hasn't talked to her in very long, which is something. And then
yeah, the idea is supposed to be like he's letting them have a moment, but
it's so quick. It's like we got to get out of here now. Yeah. A bomb's about to explode, and I don't want any part of it. She says that she's going to say yes to everything but the sketchy stuff. I would submit that a grown man you just met asking you to climb a fence and steal a tree is sketchy.
Is the sketchy stuff.
That is the aforementioned sketchy stuff. If you're 6 shots of whiskey deep and a man you just met asks you to climb over a fence and steal a Christmas tree, that is the thing that maybe you say no in the Christmas of yes. I'm just saying.
A free improv show already falls under the sketchy banner, so I don't even know what we're doing.
Yeah, that's all I got.
It's time for Oh No You Didn't. The part of the show we wonder what could have been, maybe having some clarity. Any questions that we still have, Alonso?
Yeah, the question I find the more that we talk about this is that for characters who are all supposedly jacked up on caffeine, they're all real.
Yeah, they are.
Like, I think there's not a jitter to be found in this movie. And I think given the sheer amounts of coffee they are all slugging down, like there should be some teeth grinding happening, maybe some tremors, some, like everybody running to the bathroom every 5 minutes. Like I was not getting a real coffee vibe from these characters.
Fair.
So I like good improv, like Whose Line Is It is one of my, like I watch it. Like I love improv. I love Who's. So they do a game called Ding Dong, and obviously for Her Story, an awful game to play. But I also couldn't think of a way in which Ding Dong is funny.
It works.
Yeah, but I Googled it. It is an improv game. I would like to see a good version of Ding Dong, but I'm wrapping my head just going, this is so dumb. Like, this is a dumb improv. Like, I don't understand how this could be funny.
You're asking to be reviewed.
Yeah, even if you didn't get fired that day and you have an amazing day, is it funny? Like, best case, you get dinged and you nailed it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't work. And I didn't have enough time to.
And go ahead. It introduces the concept of no into improv, which is antithetical.
Correct.
But so I need to look it up
and see. No, but
I'm sure there's a YouTube video of a troupe doing it, and maybe it's funny. But the whole time I was watching it, I said, this can't be real because there's no way to make it funny. Googled it. It is real. So that's my, and it is a what the Hallmark or a no, you didn't that I could actually pursue.
Research.
So good on us. Dan?
How much are these laptops? I like to quote Troy Barnes from Community, what market are you shopping at? This is a laptops to facilitate learning for children in school, the way I understand it, correct? That's a $200 Chromebook situation. What are you buying these children that everything they're doing is not enough money for one class to have laptops? I just don't, they sold out an improv show. What were the tickets? $1? Like
a Christmas Eve improv show.
She says at one point, if we sell 12 ounces of coffee at $20, it's $10 profit. It costs you $10 to make 12 ounces of coffee. What market are you shopping at?
Are you paying full retail for everything?
Yes, and then we're going to be able to afford one laptop. My math on that was the laptop was $1,000. Are you buying a MacBook Air for a child? They're going to ruin it. Don't do that. Stop it. Be better. Get a little bit more financially conscious with how you're. Don't do that. Yeah, I just need to know more info on the laptops, I guess is what I'm saying, Brandon.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. We're going to be back next week with How the Gringo Stole Christmas, starring George Lopez.
That makes it better.
Which is on Stars, which I believe you can also find on Philo if you would like to just search for it in there. I'm excited. I'm excited. We're going to get to it next Monday, and of course, we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, may we be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.